Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today on the No Hope Estate, I thought we would go into the Weald, where we might find the Dwemer Lake, hopefully not, we'll see about that though. Where we're gonna go fight the Wizened Hag, particularly to get the Lucky Charm. Now, I will say that today's video might get a little bit scuffed. Just gonna admit it right from the get-go, because over the weekend, we adopted a little kitten. Who is happily purring away and trying to nap on my lap. Now, if said kitten gets off of my lap, one of the cats in the house really does not like said cat. So, I may have to go keep an eye on things and kind of cut away every now and then in very weird spots. Just make sure said kitten is okay. But we'll see about that just later down the road if said things happen. Otherwise, we'll just do what we do, have some fun, and also see about maybe getting off the Crimson Curse on Korra here, because I've been forgetting a lot about the fact that the Panacea gets rid of the Crimson Curse, if I'm being totally honest. Let's see what all we can do, see about getting the Wizened Hag down, and have some fun while we're doing it. Party for today is going to be Evelyn the Ripperkin, with Rip and Tear to just do damage and get protection down if I need to. Blood is Fuel as our main damaging attack, bypassing and breaking guard and doing a good amount of bleeding. And then Bloody Gust to do AoE damage and do bleeding damage to everyone. Rev up for a free action. We're going to have the Deserter's Crest to up bleed amount, upping her speed but lowering her death blow resistance, so we do have to be careful because her death blow resistance will be at 40%. And then just because her bleed amount bleed chance is not great, sitting at 90% on Bloody Gust, I'm going to have the Bleed Stone to up her bleed chance. We're then going to have Baliol, our new Uncrowned, usually using Poisoned Knife, Everscrate, or Fan of Knives, depending upon the situation, kind of acting like Hush did, using Zanzil's Altered Mixture to up the blight chance per combo point, and on ranged attack hit blighting any other enemies. I'm not sure why the text is acting a little wonky, it has been for a few days now. If you see that on the range attack hit other enemies blight, the D looks a little weird there to me. It's just been acting weird for a few days. And then I thought I'd put on the Poison Skull because on subsequent rounds, crit versus blight, damage versus blighted, and on attack hit he will blight extra amount, going into the fact that, plus blight amount per combo point, so that the on attack hit will go to 2 blight around. We're then going to have Skulland, our new Forlorn, doing Whiplash. The on-attack versus anything bleeding should be removed. Hunter Strike, so armor piercing versus anything bleeding and giving him an attack buff for anything that's versus bleeding. Entangle is a pull and a bleed, and Bloody Cross is an AoE bleed. We're going to have the Bloody Tear upping his bleed amount on Bloody Cross by 50%, but bleed duration on Bloody Cross is down by 33%, and the bleed amount on any of his melee skills go down by 20%. We're also going to have the Bloody Feather on him, so his damage versus anything that is bleeding is upped by 25%, and if there is a corpse, his damage goes up by 15%. So then we have Kur, the Prefect, with Disrupt, bypassing and breaking guard, stealth, and riposte. Power play, marking anything I need to. Tick-tock, speeding anyone up I want for the next round, and giving them a little bit of a crit bonus. And then finally we have Implode, doubling the bleed and blight amount applied, however doubling the amount they receive. For trinkets, we have the Ancestors map, just a little bit of scouting and trap disarm chance, not that he needs trap, but scouting is a help, and aggression tactics for monster surprise chance. He also has a Crimson Curse, so we'll probably be getting rid of that right away with the Panacea. And the little one was playing, but he is rather attached to me, so he has to be within eyesight, I think. Otherwise he's crying his heart out. But he's adventuring, so like I said, might be having odd cuts. Just go check on the cat or the kitten, just because I don't know what he's getting up to, and I'm hearing weird squeaks every now and then, which sound very odd, but I think he's okay. Until I hear hissing. Hissing is not good, but let's go get the hag, let's have some fun, and let's get rid of a Crimson Curse so I don't need to deal with it. And before I forget again, taking all the food, shovels, a lot of anti-venom and bandages, medicinal herbs, torches because I'm going to need them, a few holy waters for the boss, a few keys just in case we get a key, or a hidden room.
I had collected many rare and elusive volumes on ancient herbal properties, and was set to enjoy several weeks immersed in comfortable study. My work was interrupted, however, by a singularly striking young woman who insisted on repeated calls to the house.
And now he has a zoomie, so he's running to and from across the house. Alright. A lot of curios right away.
It bears a form both
before I forget, because I didn't take blood panacea right away, it's gone. I don't think anyone here is going to get me extra supplies, so it doesn't really matter who I do this with. But we're just going to take everything. Bypassing that, because I don't want to deal with it right now.
Is struck. A blazing star is born.
Do you think this skull was there from the original owner of the house? Or did someone take it and put the skull up? Because mushrooms are also growing up there and there's a lot of bodies. So I'm assuming it was taken over after the original owner left. Really remind me of Jaboko trees. Wonder if that was the intent here. Also, what's right here? This is an odd looking thing. Is it a mushroom? Is it a tree? Is it a sword looking mushroom? Oh, I have questions. I see so many things the more I look, and it's like, I want to know. Map inside. Did I just get a full scout? So I probably do not need keys. Gotcha. Treasure, I want him down just for the hat. I think the Uncrowned and the Forlorn can get him. So we're going to Bloody Gust these to get them bleeding if I can. That's a 7 bleed on them. We are going to implode on the Forlorn to double his bleed. I was kind of hoping that the Forlorn would go first, or before the treasure, but that's fine. We still have ways of taking him out. If the Bloody Cross hits, he goes down to Bleed and Blight.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Disrupt on Crackshot, because he's the only one left. Recalling.
Great is the
hat, please.
On its own.
I'll take the request for aid. Not what I was aiming for, but, you know, I'll take it. Now, here's the thing. I have an extra stack of food. Do I get rid of anything? So the gold stack is not going to be worth the antiques. I'm 100% going to need the portraits and stuff like that. I'm probably just going to take the buff for now to get to the boss. And there's a lot of curios on the way, so I probably shouldn't be getting rid of any of these for it. Let alone something else. But I know if I get 2 more emeralds, it's also worth more than the antique. Yeah, we'll do that. Can get rid of a negative quirk, so God-fearing, fragile, or... And let's try for fragile, because the more health I have, the better. Well, I tried. That wasn't the path I wanted to go down. I wanted to go down this one. I know it's going to be a few more fights. 10% chance to get hit by that. 10.
Possessed by evil intent.
But then I can go up, go get everything up until the obstacle, then go left, then go down, and I get pretty much everything.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Alright, let's tick-tock on the Forlorn, just because I want him to bloody cross again, then we're going to implode on him. That way I double the bleed. They really like hitting Evelyn. And we're probably going to get super stressed out on the Forlorn there. I'm assuming we're going to get the Afflict.
As the fiend falls,
That bloody cross. Nymph doesn't leave a corpse, which is great. Feed the beast. Bloody gust. We take out... Oh, I was really hoping to take out the Parasite. Owie. Parasite's hurt. Who would have thought? Alright, bloody cross again. So that's a 3, that's a 5, that's an 8. If I do disrupt, we can take out the Nymph.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy.
And just Parasite left, who's oddly fast. Rip and tear. 0 for 2 there, Evelyn. Well, we can do the finisher. Alright. And none of the gems I need.
So clearly.
However, what we will do is heal with that food.
Of the light.
Then take the sapphire. Okay, Jittery Coffin, Fungal Artillery, Fungal Scratcher. We can bleed the Coffin, so Gust it is. 1 broke. Tick-tock Forlorn. Implode Forlorn. Because once again, if it does stay around, we're bleeding it. Which it will. Also, corpse goes away. So we're going to ambush on the artillery here, which accuracy issues. I should put some accuracy stuff on. That's on me. We got the runs, which I think Panacea can also fix. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Because it cures diseases. Recall this after I cure it with anti-venom.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Disrupt on Jittery Coffin, breaking its riposte. Poison Knife on artillery. Blighting everyone. Bloody Gust to hit artillery, bleeding it. Taking it out, and then you go down.
This is how a life is taken.
Alright. I want the deeds.
The way is lit.
Assuming I can take those and be fine, just based on the fact that I have 8 torches and a firewood left.
Follow it. A handsome reward.
Alright, so I'm gonna go left. Or right, rather. This way. Can disarm the trap, get the 2 curios. Get the 1 curio. Because screw this thing in particular. I'm never going to use the request for aid. So I'll take the deeds because I'm going to need those more. Taking the left. Taking this curio. The food can heal. Leaving the money and such. And then we have a fight and then an obstacle. Supplicants. Okay, so tick-tock because we can bleed them. Implode because we can bleed them. And that'll help take them out. hitting one of the artillery. Bloodied Cross. This should bleed for like 6. No, Recall will do that though. And then if we Bloody Gust, at least this Supplicant should go down to bleed. Alright, let's see how this goes. And also, with how low Evelyn's health is, realistically, I could proc the extra action and not really have a downside right now. Just to help get rid of them. Because 10 out of 17 now, until the debuff wears off. So 7 out of 9, 8 out of 5, so yeah, hitting the fungal artillery. Then Disrupt, hitting the Supplicant.
Obliterated.
Hemorrhage, hitting artillery. Or, you know, missing. That works too. Ooh, Frida's Ring. Really? So, Crimson Court Trinket enables riposte one time around. On riposte, minus 20% damage, accuracy 1, 25%, 7% crit. On riposte, all other enemies take 5 damage. All enemies will get a Blight 2 for 2 round. I tried to get this, and I believe this was during one of the homecomings, and I failed to get it. So I have the other half of the set, I believe, and then it gains an additional riposte per round if I wear this. So I 100% want this. I'm very lucky to have gotten that from just some supplicants randomly around. I want the keys because the battle room with treasure. The firewood I'm gonna need because if I do it right now, it's gonna wear off before I get to the boss. I'm just trying to think of like what would be the best case scenario to get rid of for it. And it's either the key, and then I don't get to unlock these with the key and hope that I can with either anti-venom or shovel, which is valid. Or I get rid of the bandage because there's like 2 curios I can use it on. I don't think the boss actually can bleed me. It's just other stuff in the Weald that can bleed me, especially with all of the mods I have on. We'll do the bandages. Okay, digging through this, torch out.
A victim to the spreading corruption.
Now I really need to get home because of the Frida's Ring. I really wanted that. I love this background art. Look at all of the faces on all of these trees. I want to know how long this took to draw. Like, legitimately, the detail in this tree alone, and then some of the ones back here, and this one here. It's amazing. I know some people can, like, belt that out in an hour. It's just based on drawing ability. And then you have people like me who are like, I could never draw that. It would take me a year to draw that. Just to, like, possibly get up the skill to try to draw that. And then here's something I would have needed the bandage on. Okay. Ooh. What do you think he was doing with that orb when they did that statue? Hey, Dule Tree, how you doing? I don't want to face the gallows. That's right, he's too big. I need to use a torch from the inventory. So I can silence him, which has a 100% chance, so 70, and then bleed him 3 for 3. Get him bleeding for the other people, which might be better. Yeah, let's garrote. Tick talk. Let's go Hush. And then implode on Hush. Because he has his Zanziel's altered mixture, which... Oh shoot, that won't work. I should have done Evelyn. Rip and Tear moving forward. Okay, no move. That's like best case scenario. Whiplash, and then next turn we can Hunter Strike him. I just want to make sure our positions are fine. Encore again, really, man. So we decided that Poison Knife is not going to work because 20% chance. And that's just plus blight amount. So he's not going to get blighted, so I can do Hemorrhage to get amount. And then I can do Finisher, the Everscrate later. So yeah, Hemorrhage for plus damage received. So Bleed does more. We're going to rev up, because then I get 2 actions to do Bloody Gust. So that's a 12 bleed. Disrupt. I can do Blood as Fuel doing 13 damage and a 3 bleed, or Bloody Gust for a 5 bleed, so Blood as Fuel. Uranus missed. Hunter Strike. He's bleeding. We do plus damage on the Forlorn. Now he bleeds out. Cool. Ending turn. Default party order. Torch through this. Get torch from sconce. Anything else in here like deeds? Nope. And then realistically, we can camp in this room. So, feed the beast. Bloody Gust. Maggot bleeds out. Parasite bleeds out. Tick-tock. And since those 2 big guys are going down, 60-60. Let's go for the higher bleed. We're probably not going to blight them. But then ambush. Actually, yeah, ambush on artillery. Artillery almost down. It's going to have 1 health left. Then we can do Bloody Cross hitting him. Just the 2 left. Recall, just the Scratcher left. Scratcher bleeding for 8. Rip and Tear. I think he bleeds out. Everscrate. Stabby stab. All was good. Hey, we got an emerald. And like I said, we're gonna do the firewood here because there's 2 battles before the boss. And that means we can keep all of our lovely bonuses. We're gonna feast for the stress.
An uneasy companionship.
Brew poisons for the plus blight chance and plus damage while poison knife active. Detect traps. And then I'm going to get the Peculiar Panacea, so we can get rid of Cora's disease there. And then let's do Encourage to get rid of some stress. I was thinking about doing It's Going Down, but I'm a little leery about lowering her health even more. Alright, let's see what's in the chest. Getting rid of a key. Taking the money. Leaving the journal. Going up. Leaving this little guy. We may come back for him, all things considered, later. Just because space reasons.
If only treasure
Using some food to heal.
Otherworldly corruption.
Taking the rest. I thought there was a trap that I forgot about, so that's why I stalled. Alright, torch up.
As the light gains
Tick
purchase,
tock.
spirits are lifted.
60 and 60, so it doesn't matter too much, but I guess the others have a higher blight resistance, so let's go tick tock and then implode on the Forlorn for the bleed. Actually, let's just do this so we get the Bloody Gust going. And then cross, ambush, let's hit the... Actually, if we hit the ectoplasm, we can hit another ectoplasm and... Oh, that's right, it has a corpse. I was thinking we could hit an ecto, then a dog, but no. Still bloody gusting to get rid of the other ecto, which we didn't bleed.
The will to fight falters.
Probably going... Oh, lovely. Another ecto and probably going to have a parasite now. Bloody Gust getting rid of Shriekling and Gnasher. Gnasher bleeds out. Shriekling bleeds out, probably still leading to, like I said, that parasite. And we'll see what happens here, because they both go away. Yep, we got that parasite. Thankfully it doesn't get a action. Disrupt on it. And Whiplash. Taking what we can.
At least promises success.
Can use some food to heal up quick and then get rid of that last stack for the crust that I'm gonna need, because we still have a food stack. Oh, this is a cool background. And Lost Legion. The Beast. Bloody Gust. Get them bleeding because these guys will bleed. They don't have the biggest bleed resistance. Tick tock on Forlorn. Implode. You know, what is resistances here? We'll tick tock, or the implode on her just because it will get to next turn. We're going to hit the Deadbolt because I don't like the Deadbolt. It also blights him, then Bloody Cross, get them all bleeding. Except for the Missionairy, who has the higher bleed resistance. They get stun chance resistance and plus stun chance, which isn't the biggest deal unless they try to stun me, which the Cleric Errants can do. But usually that's around 2+. Haha, you failed your guard. Recall the cross.
A time to perform beyond.
Poison knife hitting the Missionairy, blighting all of them. Bloody Gust again. There we go. Disrupt hitting Missionairy. And watch him drop. Only this Errant should be left. And disrupt his brain.
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
Alright. To the boss. That would be a bandage thing. We're not gonna do that. And then we're gonna pop holy waters on people. Go in, torch up one last time.
May we find victory.
Ooh. So we're in her house.
Twisted and maniacal.
Kinda wanna dissect this.
To the powers of corruption.
So, obviously, a fireplace, which is, like, I don't know what the thing is, but Obviously, this is like where she keeps all her reagents. Mushrooms. We busted down the door. Oh man, this is amazing. Ooh, what kind of like skull or sigil is that? Some kind of concoction up here. This is awesome. They did really good work here. Love it. Okay. TikTok. We're gonna hit Hush because I want to try to blight her as much as possible. And then if I can get Implode off on her, on Evelyn, we can bleed the ever-living hell out of her. So instead of 7, Bloody Gust should do 14. Or 12, I suppose. We're also going to grow out bleeding from more, silencing her if we can. Also blighting on that hit. And they want Cora after we've already done the buffs, so this is great. Whiplash for the... Actually, can I do Bloody Gust from 3? I can't. Okay, so we're going to Whiplash. 17 and 2. Okay, that hurt a bit. Poisoned Knife.
A devastating blow.
Bladed for 7 and 5. I think I win.
The wood is still poisoned. The way is still blocked.
Oh, she's got grain sacks over there.
Will be eaten.
We'll leave the snack sack. I'm never going to use it once again. I'm going to continue adventuring. I'm going to go back to the Curio just to fight it. This is really cool. This is like her own species of mushrooms, or like her own thing that she gets to pick. That she's cultivating. I love it. I love it so much. Is she curing the meat or is she letting it rot? Because there's some hanging meat chops right there. Thing of garlic, some food. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, there's skulls in her fireplace. Well, we weren't the first ones there. But we were the last. It might be this curio that was the bloodsuckers. That's where I was planning on going. Because then I can get 8 extra invitation to the courtyard, which I'm probably going to need if I'm going to do it in the sections like I want to. Okay. So, TikTok, then Implode for the Bloody Gust, doing extra bleed damage. That way I can just take out the messenger if we bleed him. And then the supplicants actually will get taken out if we bleed them as well. So just the one supplicant left with 1 health, who now goes down because of the blight.
Destroyed.
Invitation, please. Also blood. Blood, blood, blood.
So too.
Better stock up on that while I can. Okay. That's all I wanted. So, some more invitations. Or another invitation, more deeds, more crests, a little bit more money. The Lucky Talisman, which I usually sleep on trinkets like this, but it actually may be handy later on. Grand total of 30 dodge if you're at Death's Door, which the Grave Robber can get a lot of dodge as is, so like, depending upon which trinkets you throw on her, I think we can get her up to like 80 dodge, which means she has like a 5% chance of being hit from a lot of different enemies, even in champions, which would be amazing. Which 5% is 5%, it will happen. Core hit level 3, so I'm not going to be using him for a little bit. Scientific and then Fear of Mankind and Belial. Evelyn got Eagle Eye and then Fear of Mankind, so everyone's fearing that hag. The Shadows Howl. I Forgot I
before the
did this.
crows and rats made it their domain.
So I did put the Lord of the Worgen, the Cursed, on this estate just because while I was doing that spotlight, he seemed like he would do very, very well in this estate, and he didn't have anything that would kind of go against this estate. If you remember me doing these spotlights a little while back, so far he's the one that I've done a spotlight on that didn't seem like it wouldn't have anything that would go. If I like ripped all of the stuff that needed to be ripped off, it wouldn't gut the class, if that makes sense. He actually didn't really have anything that needed to be removed, if I remember right. I'm gonna triple check before I actually play with him, because it does look like I need to get rid of Demomania. But bypass, guard, minus dodge, minus stun resistance, but it doesn't stun, and then damage versus bleed. Okay, inner beast, self minus 5 stress. That, if I decided to use it, which is in human form, I would need to remove if I decided to use it. But that's like the one thing I would need to remove is that minus 5 stress on the cursed. But like the Juggernaut, for example, she has a lot of self heals. She can't be healed by normal means, which I went over a lot of the ways to heal her, so it isn't the biggest deal, especially in this estate, which I'm using a lot of alternative means of healing that aren't in combat. But she also has like, there's enemy stuns, things like that, and a lot of her damage is versus stun, which if I can't get the damage versus stunned, she doesn't do a lot of that damage, which is unfortunate because she was a really fun class. And then the Sybil was the other one I had recently done a spotlight on, and they have a lot of healing they can do, which I would have to gut out just to get some use out of some of the skills that she has. And then anything that she does in Sun mode, I believe it was, does a AoE blight on her party, which is very, very hard to mitigate in this type of a estate where I'm not battle healing. So that 2 for 2 blight on our party is going to be a 4 damage on everyone anytime I use a skill in Sun mode, which is the mode that I would want to be using the most, which also makes it very hard to use her. 4 damage anytime I use an offensive skill on the entire party means the exact same thing for the Matriarch. Is the reason I didn't use her is to use her, I take a lot of damage, which is something I want to personally mitigate. Now we can take a lot of anti-venoms and stuff like that for it, but those only do so much. So the reason why I put the cursed in and not the other 2 so far. I'm not sure I'll be putting anyone else in. I just really, really enjoyed him. I did enjoy the other 2, but they were either too risky or I would be entirely gutting them to the point where I'm not sure they would be fun to make them work in this estate. Kind of my reasoning there. So we'll be removing the minus 5 stress from Inner Beast to get him to work in the No Hope estate, and we'll go from there. But I'm also going to need to remove Demomania before I even get him out and rolling. So it's going to be a little while before Tyrell here, or Gen is what he's going to be renamed to, actually get some play, but he will be up and coming just so everyone knows. We'll get rid of a shield breaker just to play with him.
This one has become vestigial. Useless.
Now I probably should have switched this screen because it's been a little while since I've done this. I took a little time off, but now that we only have, I think it's only one. Yeah, we only have the Brigand 8-pounder left for apprentice bosses, and then we are fully into veteran bosses. So it's just a matter of getting everyone to veterans after that, which shouldn't be the biggest deal. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on getting all of the heroes to veteran. Maybe just one of every hero I want to use. And then if people die, it's getting them back up to the appropriate levels. For me, it's mostly getting the trinkets I need for all of the heroes I want to use. But also, next time, Brigand 8-pounder does not have anything good for us. We still have a good chunk of heroes to level up. So that's probably what we will be doing, is just looking for a section to level heroes up that also gives us some good trinkets. I'll decide on one of those and go from there. Level some heroes up while we're at it. So that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. And otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please have a good one.